Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel in the first place. Today we have an Izuku nightmare comfort, and I apologize for any background noise. There are currently people over at my house. Let's just go ahead and get into it. It wasn't shortly after you fell asleep that a violent nightmare began to take over your subconscious. Luckily, you had your loving boyfriend curled up next to you, yet that did little to stop the terrible dream that you were enduring at the moment. Izuku knew that you often had nightmares, and he also knew there was little he could do to stop them. You tried pills, medication, therapy, and nothing seemed to make them cease. And this particular night, with this particular nightmare, was making you physically lash out. It had started early in the night with a few soft grunts and a tiny groan. Then it started escalating as the night grew on. As the nightmare grew more and more horrific, you had become more and more brass. You were now groaning and sprawled across the bed, making no effort to give your boyfriend any room. Your hands clutched your pillow before slapping your hand over your eyes. Izuku rolled over, signaling that he wasn't immune to your loud noises, displaying that he was being pulled out of his REM sleep. It was then that your foot collided with his back as you unexpectedly jolted from the dream, forcefully shoving him until he fell out of the bed with a loud thump. That seemed to wake the both of you up, and the loud groan Izuku made you immediately snap out of your nightmare-induced stupor. You crawled to the end of the bed and asked in a concerned voice, "Are you alright?" Izuku sat up, rubbing the back of his head where you had sure probably had a bump. "Yeah, I'm fine. Are you okay? I heard you making some noises," he said, and that's when he saw a frown that made its way onto your face and sat down next to you, a concerned look appearing on his face. You rarely ever frowned. You let your legs hang off the side of your bed, head hanging as well. You didn't want to look Izuku in the eye and let him know that a silly thing like a nightmare affected you so much. I just had a nightmare." You didn't have to look at Izuku to know he had a soft and worried expression on his face. He put his hand on yours, intertwining your hands together and squeezing softly. "Was it that bad?" he asked. You only nodded, tears beginning to well in your eyes. You had tried so hard to keep them in. You wanted to be strong, like Izuku, and you can't be that way if you cried over silly things like this. "Do you want to talk about it?" Just hearing him say that with a cute voice, soft and sweet as he tried to comfort you, those were the words that broke the damn walls, and your slowly crumbling resolve finally came undone. Tears started streaming down your face, big fat tears that felt burning hot on your skin. You sobbed. It was ugly and unattractive, and exactly what you needed to do to get your emotions out. Izuku, not expecting this to happen, quickly tried to execute damage control. "Listener, are you okay?" He quickly took your face into his hands, gently wiping the tears that continued to run down your now red face. You nodded, but then sobbed again. He pulled you into a hug, trying desperately to calm you down. It's just in the nightmare everyone hated me, and they acted like I was trash and I was scum on earth. And you were the worst of them all. You said you never loved me." Izuku felt like he was punched in the gut. How could you ever think or even imagine he never loved you, or that your friends hated you? You were a practical walking glow of golden light, always smiling, always so full of life and love, always so determined to do better. He knew that these were just nightmares, but they had to come from somewhere. Your head rested against his strong chest, and you spilled when you had been too afraid to tell him. "I'm just so scared that you're gonna realize you can do better." Izuku's eyes widened at that. In his mind, it was you who could do better than him. Hearing you say that made his heart break. He wondered how it must really hurt when he gets all the attention, and he gets all of the blushing fangirls and fanguys. Izuku lifted your head up, looking you in the eye and telling you, "You're the most perfect person I've ever met, and I love you so much, and I wouldn't want any other person. You're my sunshine in this gray world." You gave him a small smile at his little nickname for you. "You mean that, Izuku?" You looked into his eyes again, seeing only love and affection. It almost made you burst into tears again. He smiled softly, and said, "Of course." He leaned down and then kissed you gently, his lips taking away all the fear and doubt that the nightmare had reduced. I love you, Izuku. I love you too, listener. Alright, so that's the end of this one. I hope you enjoyed. Again, shorter ones for the rest of December, and then I'm taking a week off in January, but then I will be back. So yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever. Music link, fanfic link, Discord link, Amazon wishlist link, and thumbnail art link will all be in the description. Hope to see you in the next one, and goodbye!